Welcome back to episode 2 of Braves Bullpen. I'm Ryan Siegel, joined alongside with Gardie and Gardie. Obviously, lots to talk about. We are now in the middle of June, 1 month from the Midsummer Classic, 6 weeks from the MLB trade deadline. The Braves still sitting pretty atop the National League East. The Braves are 40-26, 66 games in. Quick math, you're welcome. 5 games ahead of the Miami Marlins in the loss column, for first in the NL East. And again, Gardie, reliability in pretty much every facet of Braves baseball. Good hitting, reliable pitching. We'll get into more of that a little bit later. However, there still seems to be one Achilles heel with the Braves, and that is beating bad American League teams. The Braves losing 2 of 3 to the Oakland Athletics, dropping 1 last night against the Detroit Tigers. Now 4-4 today in game 1 of the doubleheader. Tuesday's game was rained out in the top of the 4th. But Gardie, they can beat the Texas Rangers. They can beat the New York Mets. They can beat the Philadelphia Phillies. They can beat, I can keep going. They beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's not really a shocker.
They're good this year.
Who are good this year, but with the exception of the Dodgers and the Padres in the National League, the Houston Astros and the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League, they're picking up key wins against big-time teams in each league. What is it with the bottom of the American League?
See, I blame Rod Manfred and all of the rule changes that have happened this year, because if we didn't have to play every single team win one series throughout the season, we wouldn't be having these issues. When was the last time we actually played the Oakland Athletics? I don't know. When was the last time we played the Detroit Tigers? I don't know. Why is it the Atlanta Braves, a National League powerhouse, a historic franchise in the National League, playing against the lowly Detroit Tigers, and the Oakland Athletics who are moving to Las Vegas? It just does, like, the thing is, right, and here I think I figured it out right here on the fly.
You solved the puzzle.
I solved the puzzle. We haven't talked about this enough. We talked about how they need to play up against bad opponents in their division and in the National League, and they're doing that. They're doing that. But we haven't talked about them doing it against these bad teams in the American League, because for Pete's sake, the Oakland Athletics just had a chant so loud about selling the team that their pitcher thought he broke his pitch comps.
Yeah, I think you have to realize that, especially with the American League, right? Most schedule makers in an MLB office, and we're gonna put our little hat on, our little schedule making hat. Gardie, you got yours on? I got mine on. I just put mine on. Who would ever schedule the Atlanta Braves, the once proclaimed team of the 90s? People forget.
People really forget.
Once proclaimed team of the 90s against the Detroit Tigers. Who would schedule that game? Who's going to that game?
I was going to say,
dress like a seat night up in Detroit?
Who's going to a 1:00 Detroit Tigers game June 14th on a Wednesday? I mean, literally, that just from a schedule making perspective, that game just screams the guy, league offices guy was like, crap. We got to figure out where to put these Tigers games. They're not going to sell anyway. We might as well just try to hide them. Just hide them in plain sight. Nobody's ever going to think. They're just going to be like, oh, wow, the Braves already beat the Tigers today? Cool. It's just ridiculous. But what we're also seeing when we're playing these bad American League teams is something, and you said we're going to get into pitching. Let's get into pitching. Charlie Morton is getting screwed. Guy's got a royally screwed.
Man's got a family.
He's got a family. He's got kids. He's got a mortgage. Maybe. We talked about that pre-show. He's made a lot of money, a lot more than we thought. But he's 75 innings pitched, 3.6 ERA for a starting pitcher. He's 5-6. Guy can't get, to paraphrase Rodney Dangerfield, can't get no support. I mean, right? Like, why Charlie Morton? Like, dude, you know a little bit better than I do what's happening. Like, explain it.
So again, a 39-year-old Charlie Morton, clearly the elder statesman of the staff, with Max Fried at 27 and Spencer Strider and Bryce Elder both right under 25. But again, like you said, Gardie, 75 innings pitched, 13 starts, 5-6 with a 3.6 ERA. He's thrown 85 strikeouts. He's walked 33 people. If you were to look at a metric standpoint, he has a better ERA than Spencer Strider. Hasn't thrown as many strikeouts, but let's be honest, who has in Major League Baseball? If you look at opponents' batting average, opponents are hitting 259 against Morton. In 290 plate appearances, he's given up 75 hits. That's not bad.
It's better than not bad. That's pretty dang good, especially when you're factoring in he's a 39-year-old pitcher.
Which that's what makes it just that much more head scratching would be the word that I'd like to use. Head scratching is really the only thing that I can think of, if we're going to be completely honest with how it looks. Charlie Morton, whether it's the relievers blowing a game, and we'll get into that, or whether it's runners and hitters just not getting it done on that night, that fifth game is just, that's the night we lay an egg, and that's Atlanta Braves baseball. But it seems like that it's not necessarily his pitching performance. And don't get me wrong, yes, clearly he's got 6 losses. Clearly that means he's not getting it done. It's not a reliever issue.
Yep.
Right? So it's really only a matter of trying to wrap your head around it all. And it's, again, even thinking about it and even further, granted, he's, not doing, he's thrown 33 innings at home. He's thrown the remainder of his innings on the road. Maybe it's that, he does have a 4.64 ERA at home. He's done markedly better way better on the road. He's 3-3 on the road in his 7 starts on the road with a 2.79 ERA. So maybe he doesn't like Truist Park.
I mean, maybe, but
maybe that's the only thing I can think of. It's certainly not an issue, National League, American League. It seems to be. He's got almost a two-point increase in his ERA when he's home in front of his family and his kids at his possibly mortgaged house.
Very possibly mortgaged house. But I mean, here's if we really want to throw a monkey into this wrench here. How much of it could be Brian Sticker's fault for, leaving Morton on there a little too late, and then it goes into this relief pitching where they're giving up runs, and this is an argument that I know you and I have had for a million years, because I don't believe those should be earned runs for the starting pitcher. He's not the problem anymore, but maybe it's them, giving up that extra run, giving up that hit that, scores 2 once they get on the bag. So it is indicative, though, I think, of something greater, which is, as you said, we're 6 weeks from the trade deadline. We're a month out from the All-Star break. We're 66 games in. We're getting close to really being a healthy, almost, 40% right now? We know I'm not good at math.
We can handicap it at 40%.
Yeah, we'll eyeball it there. But the Braves are playing great baseball. They're missing 2 of their aces too. There is one fatal flaw. And the great thing we're an AJ Minter Truther podcast, because I'm going to bring this up right here, right now, very quickly. The Braves need to be clearly our buyers, but and you can make an argument about really if they need to be buyers, but if they are, they need to get relief pitchers. Their relief pitching is doo-doo. There are 4 relief pitchers who have a decent amount of innings pitched, 4 relief pitchers who have worse ERAs than any starter other than Mike Soroka, because he's only pitched that 1 game, and bless his heart for being able to get back on a major league bump. Lucas Luetge, almost 10 innings. I know that's not the way to pronounce his name, by the way. Almost 10 innings pitched. He has 11 earned runs for a 10.24 ERA. AJ Minter and David O'Brien, I love your work. You're great at The Athletic. He's not having a comeback. He's not being resurgent. Great. He's had a couple good outings recently. He still has a 6.64 ERA.
Where has that been? Yeah, his resurgent outing.
If you're so resurgent, how are you not even below a 4?
I found this on the web.
I found that out on the web too. Yeah.
You can thank Siri for that one. You can thank Siri for that one. You found it on the web.
That's Siri. Yeah, clearly Siri likes AJ Minter, and that's how you know he's not pitching well. And then Iglesias, the guy who's supposed to be the problem solver for your Minter issues as a closer, in only 15 innings pitched, has given up 7 earned runs for a 4.02 ERA. I mean, it's been their Achilles heel, and it continues to do so. And to be honest, there's a reason why I've never eaten paper or my words on this show.
Yeah, and I think the only way you deviate if you're the Atlanta Braves from that buyer strategy with relief pitching and go the starting pitching route is if Kyle Wright and Max Fried are not healthy at the All-Star break, and you have to start to think about it, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, you're hoping you get both of them back. You've got two guys who are certainly there, who when they're healthy and they're throwing, they are studs. Max Fried was a stud to start the year, was looking down the barrel at an All-Star game appearance, and then obviously got injured. Same thing, Kyle Wright not having as strong of a season, but again, when he's in, he's in.
Yep.
So the Braves could go in that direction. They do have to at least keep their eye on the ball with starting pitching. Do you bring in like an aging veteran like Zach Greinke from Kansas City on a rental for, a player to be named never, or a Rule 5 draft pick?
A laundry machine.
Yeah. We traded our washing machine to get Ed Monix. Why couldn't you trade something like a bucket of baseballs to Kansas City for Zach Greinke?
Yeah.
However, Gardie, I am in the camp with you. I do agree that the bullpen needs to be addressed. Yes, and again, to your point, there are still 14 games above 500. Could be better, barring AJ Minter and parts of that and Raisel Iglesias. I'm not saying it's just AJ Minter and Raisel Iglesias. He's blown games as well, too.
Last night.
Case in point, last night to the Detroit Tigers.
5 runs, 1 inning.
5 runs. Stack guy Gardie there. On the ball as always. But I think if you're the Braves, you have to be a buyer, and you got to be a buyer in the bullpen. But Gardie, and I think that you can only echo that sentiment even further. But I think that with this, again, speaking as the fact that we are Braves bullpen, we still care about the fans. We are heckling the bullpen in this show. We are in the bullpen, heckling the bullpen.
Yep.
But we still care about you, the fans. We want to hear from you at home, on the road, in Truist Park, where Gardie is right now, where I am right now. It's just looking a little bit different way. Gardie there a couple days ago. I'm also there a couple days ago. Or on the road, we want to hear from you. It's clearly not a hitting issue. Starting pitching, not really the problem either. The bullpen.
The bullpen.
And we're going to try to address that bullpen and speak that truth from the bullpen to the bullpen. Here's your call out. Gardie, what do you want to call out the bullpen for to wrap the show?
I want to call them out to stop blowing games, because you have 2 of the best starting pitchers in baseball that are hurt, and you're still 14 games over 500. Figure it out, fellas.
And with that, thanks for tuning in to the bullpen, and we'll see you next time on who comes out of that bullpen.